Post reporter Emily Stokes joins us to talk about what clean energy means for the city of Athens.
And in sports, Harwood Heroes joins us live from Federal Hocking High School for a basketball breakdown. Newswatch starts right now.
A new approach to teaching kids how to read is having a big impact in classrooms in Athens City schools. Good evening, I'm Madeline Harden.
And I'm Jack Green. Welcome to Newswatch. Governor Mike DeWine spent some time at East Elementary School today to see firsthand how efforts by his office are making a difference.
I was just frankly blown away.
Governor DeWine sharing his thoughts on the work done by teachers at East Elementary School.
To see how these kids were, what they knew, and how they were able to sound words out already, and then put those words together. It's just absolutely amazing.
Summer McCorkle, the district's director of curriculum, says last year only 40% of students could read proficiently. Now it's grown to 95%.
Our teaching is making huge gains for students, and we need to continue from the district perspective to support our teachers in their professional development, ensuring that they have high quality instructional materials to meet the needs of their students, and also providing those systems of supports and interventions for our students who need that extra dose of teaching.
The district is using a more comprehensive approach, commonly known as the science of reading, to better teach students, made possible through support from the governor. Superintendent Tom Gibbs says all the credit goes to teachers.
Our teachers knocked it out of the ballpark, right?
Gibbs says the keys to success, providing teachers time to work together.
For a lot of years, we expected teachers to have professional learning on their own time over the summer and the weekends, that kind of thing, which is also important. But I think it's equally important to provide paid time for professional educators to have, professional learning on the job and embedded in the job.
And although the day was about reading, students got a special lesson on civics.
And we did talk about the President of the United States and who he is, and that every state also has an elected leader, and for our state of Ohio, it's Governor DeWine.
After a tour of the school, DeWine sat down with teachers to discuss their needs in the classroom. He says he plans to take what he learned at school today back to Columbus. School bus safety is heating up for Governor DeWine as the office recommends a new school bus safety task force. This comes after the deadly bus crash in Clark County last August. The group is recommending better training for drivers and installing new safety features. DeWine's office, along with state lawmakers, are discussing grant funding for the safety upgrades and 6 hours of driver safety training annually.
The Athens County Sheriff is now on Instagram. Sheriff Smith says the account's goal is to provide residents with access to information from the Sheriff's Office anytime, anywhere. You can find them at the Athens County Sheriff on Instagram. And after a long career of nearly 4 decades in the Ohio State House, former Ohio Senate President Stanley Aronoff has died at 91. Aronoff served 8 years as a Senate President. He passed away peacefully yesterday. He was a Harvard-educated lawyer from Cincinnati, known as an artful negotiator for Republican interests when Democrats controlled the Ohio House. Aronoff was also among lawmakers caught up in a mid-1990s ethics scandal involving speaking fees. 2 Cincinnati art centers and a university biology lab bear his name.
Good evening, Athens. I hope everyone enjoyed the sun we got today, as I know I did. It made walking to class a little less miserable. Currently in Athens, we're seeing clear skies with 58 degrees, and those temperatures are pretty uniform throughout most of southern Ohio, as Wilmington's at 51, Athens, of course, at 51, Parkersburg at 50. And that has to do with the cloud cover that's coming in and really keeping us warm with the insulation that the clouds are providing. And this heat wouldn't be possible if we had a high pressure system in, because we did over the past few days, and now that it has moved out, the clouds have moved in, allowing for that heating to occur. As you can see, over the past few hours, we've really seen that high pressure move out and those clouds begin to really take over, allowing for us to get that heating. Tonight, we'll see those clouds stick around with an overnight low of 38 degrees. And so tonight you might really want to go for a walk, because if you bundle up a little bit, it'll be pretty pleasant. Tomorrow, we'll see a temperature high of 45 degrees with mostly cloudy skies and an overnight low of 26 degrees. That overnight low is due to the clouds. They're going to be leaving and allowing that heat to escape overnight. Looking into the weekend, Friday, again, pleasant at 45. And then if you want to have some siblings come down over the weekend and hang out, it's a perfect weekend to do so. Stick around for my full forecast to find out.
Thanks, Steve. High school basketball is in full swing across Southeast Ohio, and joining us live from Stewart to break down these games tonight is Hardwood Heroes reporter Gavin Garrick. How's it going out there, Gavin?
Jack, it's fantastic, man. We have got probably the biggest TVC hockey conference game for the girls' side of the year. Let's not waste any more time. Let's get straight into it, man. The Federal Hockey Lancers and Waterford Wildcats will get set to do battle for the undisputed top spot in the hockey. Last time these two teams met in December, the Lancers won 44-38. Waterford will be led by the beast in the paint, Elby Wagner, as well as Kendall Surrey. The key for them will be to get going early and often. One of the biggest things for the Wildcats will rely on having these other girls step up. The depth compared to Fed Hawk might put them at a disadvantage. For the Lancers, it will be all about getting off to that quick, hot start. Just like what we saw when the boys defeated Belpre here last Friday, getting the crowd here in Stewart will be key for them. Bradley Cottrell and Michaela Nelson will be two ladies to watch out for. The hockey is really down to three teams at this point in time. Waterford, Fed Hawk, and Belpre is still hanging around with that chance at the crown. As we've hinted at before, this game has massive implications as the season is coming down to its last breath. Belpre sit in third at 5-2 overall in conference, Trimble in fourth at 3-4, Southern at 1-7, and Eastern round out the Hawking at 0-8 in the conference. Both the Lancers and the Wildcats have won a game in conference after tonight. Fed Hawk at Trimble and Waterford at home to Belpre.
Waterford's probably one of the biggest games in the last decade or so for us. I mean, it's going to be a big one. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Next week's going to be a big week for us, big practice week.
Switching out of this game for just a second, we got to talk about the other side of the TVC, and in the Ohio, Athens and Alexander are set to do battle there as well tonight. Athens comes into this game hot. Winners of their last three contests, while Alexander were riding a 5-game home streak, a win streak, until they dropped their last game at home to Nelsonville, York. Big-time players for the Bulldogs include the likes of Ella Chapman as well as Asa Holcomb. While on the other side of the ball, the Spartans rely on the star power of youngsters Kaylee Hundal and Lily Ryder. This may be the last gasp for the Spartans to try and compete for the crown of the Ohio this season. The Spartans have 2 conference games left after this one. Now we go ahead and take a peek at the standings in the Ohio. Athens sit on top of the conference with an 8-1 record. River Valley comes in second with a record of 7-3. Alexander stepped down into the third spot after trading places with the Raiders. They come in now with a 6-3 conference record. Nelsonville York head into that 4th spot with a 6-4 record. Vinton County are in the 5th spot at 3-6. Wilson then slide into that 6th hole with a 2-7 record. And Megs round out the Ohio with their 1-9 conference record. Jack, we have an absolutely great games up here tonight, but I gotta go. I'm gonna send it back to y'all on the desk for what should be one of the best games of basketball I've ever seen in my life.
Well, that's saying a lot, seeing that you cover a lot of sports. Thanks, Gavin.
Coming up, why outrage in New York City is contributing to a national conversation on the border crisis. And we'll walk you through how to watch for heart issues in children.
High pressure has played a big factor over the past 24 hours. Find out if it sticks around next.
For more than 70 years, WOUB Public Media has been the place where people in our region turn to learn how stories of the past ignite the imagination of the future. It's where information, entertainment, and education work together to inform, enlighten, and inspire generations. It's the place where the community gathers to hear and see our world in new and innovative ways. WOUB, the public media you trust that's worthy of your support.
We cover all the angles. We report the facts. We find clarity. PBS is here, delivering the credible, reliable, thoughtful election coverage you need to make informed decisions. PBS, your trusted election source.
I am Sister Lunofini, and I am going to die.
This hip nun drank, smoked, wore normal clothes.
And I was like, that's a nun?
We should all be living our lives the way she's living her life now.
The cancer is making me be a better me. Honestly, death doesn't end at all.
Monday at 10 on WOUB.
Look at this lineup.
That is huge.
I had no idea what it was.
Moments like this actually feels like magic.
You can feel, just watching them, how long of a journey it's been.
Behind every legend, there's knowledge there.
That is the base of all our history.
I feel really excited.
Wednesday on WOUB.
A camera captured disturbing footage of two NYPD officers being attacked violently is causing uproar in New York City. Laura Aguirre has more, and we must warn our viewers that some of you may find this video disturbing.
Reprehensible. Cowards.
Frustrations are high at the NYPD after two of their own were violently attacked near Times Square this past Saturday. Authorities say the two officers were attempting to make an arrest while responding to a disorderly group outside a migrant shelter in Midtown. That's when several suspects began punching and kicking the officers. The beating was captured by a street camera and released by the department's Crime Stoppers unit.
If they're not afraid to assault the police officer, they're not going to be afraid to assault somebody else.
Both officers were treated for minor injuries, and at least 7 people were arrested after the attack. They face an array of charges, including assault on a police officer, gang assault, robbery, and disorderly conduct. But according to a criminal complaint, those charged have been released without bail as the investigation continues.
I'm not satisfied with that at all. I'm looking to judges and prosecutors to do the right thing.
Prosecuting the suspects will be the job of the Manhattan District Attorney. A statement from that office condemned any violence against police officers, adding that it's paramount every person responsible for this attack is conclusively identified. But the head of New York's police union and the chief of police patrol both say the problem is much broader than this one heinous attack.
Across this entire city, individuals are not afraid of consequences.
There's no consequences, and we must change this. End of story.
I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
This incident is fueling the ongoing debate on the significant surge in migrants entering New York City. New York City Mayor Eric Adams says the city does not have the authority to deport the migrants involved. Since spring of 2022, more than 173,000 migrants have arrived. President Joe Biden is looking to protect his commitment as the most pro-union president ever. Biden met with the United Auto Workers Union in the battleground state of Michigan after picking up their endorsement last week. Former President Donald Trump is now attempting to pick up endorsements from groups that have previously endorsed Biden. Trump visited with the Teamsters labor union yesterday in Washington. He believes he has support from the group, but one member referred to him as a union buster and an insurrectionist.
Are very clear for the large majority of Americans. The working class people have been left behind by Trump's billionaire class, the billionaire buddies.
He made history last year when he joined a picket line during their record-breaking strike.
Good evening, Athens. Today we saw sunny skies with high temperatures around 50 degrees, but then clouds began to move in. So currently we're seeing a temperature at 48 degrees with clear skies, but temperatures are at 48 degrees, and that is due to the high pressure system that has moved out over these past 24 hours or so, which has given way to these clouds that are starting to move in. However, if you look, these clouds are going to start setting up, over the next few days, and that'll really give us a cloudy day tomorrow, but it'll leave some heat, so tomorrow should be a pretty pleasant day again, sticking with these temperatures. Now these temperatures are pretty uniform throughout most of the country. As you can see all the way up into the south, all the way to the west coast, we're seeing temperatures extremely high. And that is due to these high pressure systems that are pretty uniform throughout most of the country. That is allowing heat to come straight through the atmosphere and really get all of the energy to the ground and not leaving a lot of energy, like getting broken up by clouds. Tonight, we'll have an overnight low of 38 degrees with mostly cloudy skies. So tonight, if you want to go for a walk, you might be able to put a coat on, a hat on, and you'll have a pleasant time. Looking into tomorrow, we'll see mostly cloudy skies with a high of 45 degrees and a low of 26. These clouds may not stick around for too long, as a high pressure system is supposed to move in over the next few days. Tomorrow, again, we'll see that high pressure begin to move out, but we won't really see any precipitation until maybe next week. Tomorrow night, again, we'll see the clouds move further out. And then Saturday, we'll see a high pressure system set up over the Great Lakes that'll really help us clear out and have an extremely pleasant weekend, whether you want to go to a sporting event, go hiking, maybe pitch a tent, who knows. But you'll be able to do that with the pleasant weather this weekend. However, as we look out west, we see this blue and pink color is a mix of rain and snow that we might not be able to see much of, but it'll definitely cool off that part of the country, so we won't have those uniform temperatures anymore. Looking into the weekend, we'll see, again, Friday, 45, and 45 is the high, with a low of 26. Saturday, we'll see those skies, again, begin to move out, clear out with mostly sunny skies at 48 and 54 on Sunday. So if you really want to do anything, I know SIBS weekend is happening here at OU, you'll be able to do that. Now looking into the 7-day, we'll see on Monday, those clouds really stay away with a high of 51 and a low of 28. Tuesday, much of the same, again, due to that high pressure system that is sticking around, a high of 46 and a low of 25. And this high pressure really won't begin to move out until possibly next week, as we have a high of 49 on Wednesday and a low of 28. On Thursday, we'll see a little bit of an increase with temperatures as high as 52 and temperatures as low as 31 with partly sunny skies. Back to Jack.
Thanks, Steve. I'm really looking forward to those warmer temperatures. Now, heart disease is the leading cause of death among U.S. adults, but heart problems affecting children and teens too. Today kicks off American Heart Month, and Mandy Gaither has signs parents should be watching out for in their children.
In the U.S., nearly 1 in 100 babies is born with a heart disease or defect every year, according to the CDC.
Some of those might be more mild, but some can be much more significant.
Pediatric cardiologist Glenn Iannucci with Children's Healthcare of Atlanta says not all heart problems are caught before birth. There are some conditions that can be missed in routine prenatal ultrasounds.
Really, that kind of underlies the importance of going for routine health checks with a pediatrician where they can listen, and then certainly if there's any concerns, getting evaluated beyond that.
There are medicines and surgeries that can help with even the most severe congenital heart problems, but first the condition has to be detected. Iannucci says signs of a heart condition will vary based on the age of the child. In general, for infants, it may include poor feeding, trouble gaining weight, or persistent fast breathing even at rest. In older children, red flags may be persistent vomiting, chest pain, passing out during physical activity, or shortness of breath and poor stamina while being active.
In the teenage years, a lot of times we're thinking a little bit more about acquired heart conditions in that setting. Some congenital heart defects may have gone unnoticed until that time.
Iannucci says once a problem is identified, lifestyle changes may also help.
Perhaps we don't want you playing really aggressive sports, but these are things that you can do that can help to keep you healthy without putting you at risk.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
If you're worried if your child may be presenting these signs, contact their pediatrician or primary care doctor. Doctors say early recognition leads to better outcomes for kids and teens. Next, what a clean energy recognition means for the city of Athens. And for the latest from Newswatch, follow us on Instagram, X, formerly Twitter, and YouTube.
He wasn't just a good player, he was a superstar.
It was us against the world.
He had a kind of fury in him.
He's taking horrible abuse and death threats.
He took on everything that we were afraid to face and faced it.
We will inspire the greatest vote in the history of this nation.
He wasn't just a really good second baseman. He changed the entire country.
Tonight at 9 on WOUB.
Closer and closer we inch towards deciding conference crowns, and this week is a big one.
The Spartans and Bulldogs clash for the top of the Ohio for the girls. Nelsonville York Buckeyes boys are headed to VC, while the Wildcat girls getting a shot at revenge and a piece of the crown against Fedhawk. And there's only one place to be for all the action. Episode 3 airs upcoming this Sunday at 11 p.m. and Monday at 6 p.m. And as always, we're reminding you to be heroic.
Sometimes we have to look that monster right in the face. Show we're not afraid of it anymore.
Love is the best thing we have. It's the only thing we have.
No more secrets. I just want to be right here in this moment with you.
I trust nothing untoward has occurred.
Right things ahead, darling. Brightness and joy.
Those that underestimate us should do so at their own peril.
And if they do, so bloody what?
Open your eyes.
Action! Best episode ever.
Athens now stands at a gold status for clean energy. This is according to SolarSmart, a federal program that assists local governments in making solar power more accessible. Post reporter Emily Stokes spoke with Athens residents on what this recognition means for the city. Thanks for joining us, Emily.
Thanks for having me, Jay.
So how did Athens come to receive this award?
So previously, back in 2017, they were awarded the Bronze Award, and so they were already on SolarSmart's list of accessible, clean, green energy cities. It was application-based, and we know that Mayor Steve Patterson had a large role in pushing for this new designation.
And what policies or changes did the city implement to receive this award?
So apart from the already known solar panels that we have here in Athens, like the community center and the pool, which are big offsetters of the large energy costs that we have, they changed it to be a 3 business day turnaround on permitting. So a lot of changes in zoning, permitting, and code enforcement.
Did Athens work with other companies or businesses to obtain this award?
They worked with the SolarSmart team in order to put in the application, and I talked to Kokosing Solar here in Athens, and they said they were not directly involved in the application process, but they were a part of installing a lot of the solar arrays that we have.
Yeah, and you mentioned there was a bronze award from SolarSmart. Are there higher awards that are higher than gold recognition?
So previously there were not, but they recently added the Platinum Award, which is something that Mayor Patterson says that Athens is not far off from. So hopefully in the future, Athens can continue to be recognized for clean, green energy.
Yeah, and is there any specific way that Mayor Patterson might have said that the city's planning on doing that?
I know City Council President Sam Crowell said that they have plans to add more solar panels in Athens and hopefully increase the amount of solar energy we're using, specifically on the Arts West building and the renovated Armory. And I know they just put panels out by the dog park as well.
Oh, that's awesome. I mean, and that's the city, but what can we do as residents of Athens? How can we reduce our carbon footprint?
I think being mindful of energy usage, especially solar panels, are a great way. And there's a lot of other sustainable activities that can be done to increase the, decrease the carbon footprint for residents.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for joining us, Emily. If you want to read Emily's full story, go to thepostathens.com and look under the news section. Still ahead, how some furry friends will be helping us predict the weather. But first, here's a look at what's coming up tonight on your public television station.
Meet 6 extraordinary women who forged their own answers to a profound question.
As a Black woman, how does it feel to be free?
Lena Horne, Abby Lincoln,
They blazed such a trail.
Nina Simone,
Voice of the civil rights movement.
Cicely Tyson,
Accepted for her talent alone.
Diane Carroll,
We're at a new crossroad.
Pam Grier.
First female action hero in American film.
Look for How It Feels to Be Free
We'll see what happens here.
on American Masters.
Tuesday at 9 on WOUB.
I want you to fasten your seatbelt.
You cannot chart your own path if you don't know where you came from. For me, it was an opportunity to face my own truth.
This is our community. We don't want our history to stop.
Palm Springs grown and we want to be part of the community.
Feel it deep down in your soul.
This is stuff that we need in order to feel whole.
I wouldn't be here without gospel.
All this and more, only on PBS.
It's incredible. How do you find these things?
On Finding Your Roots, Jesse Williams.
Before anybody even tried to get to know me or talk to me, just what are you?
And Sunny Hostin.
It was a constant question.
Complex identities revealed.
I feel more full. It just completes a picture.
And an ancestor's powerful act.
He signed
in an X. Now you got me crying.
Tuesday at 8 on WOUB.
Next time on Antiques Roadshow, can you guess which guest just heard that their treasure is worth 6 figures?
Are you serious? Wow. I hate to say wow, but I didn't expect that.
That's a lot more than I would have thought.
That's amazing. I had no idea. Okay.
It's Antiques Roadshow, next time from Old Sturbridge Village in Massachusetts.
Monday at 8 on WOUB.
Finally tonight, we'll know if winter is sticking around or if spring is on its way. Groundhog Day is tomorrow and America's furry friends are getting ready to make a forecast. The country's most famous predictor, Punxsutawney Phil, may give us a sign that spring is here to stay or that 6 more weeks of winter is still to come. More than 30,000 people visit Gobbler's Knob in Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania every year to celebrate Phil's forecast. But we may want to wait and see. Buckeye Chuck and Marion could give Ohioans a more accurate look. Do you think he'll see his shadow this year?
I mean, I personally hope not, because I absolutely hate cold weather. I don't like cold weather at all. I just really don't enjoy it. How about you, Steve?
Oh, I can't stand it, so I really hope he doesn't either.
And that's saying a lot, because you predict the weather.
Exactly.
So
right.
if you don't like cold weather, then why should anyone?
Precisely.
But I remember in grade school, it was such a big deal when Punxsutawney Phil would happen, and I legitimately thought, oh my gosh.
Oh, I took him very seriously.
Oh, yes. I mean, I 100% did. So now, you're a forecaster, so you might have a little bit more knowledge than Punxsutawney Phil. So what's the rest of the week looking like?
I don't know what he knows, but I do know for a fact that overnight we're going to see a low of 38 degrees with mostly cloudy skies. So if you want to go for a walk tonight, this might be your night to do it. Looking into tomorrow, we're going to see those clouds stick around with a temperature of 45 degrees and a low of 26. Again, looking into tomorrow, we'll see that high pressure that really kept our clouds out really move away, so those clouds are going to move in, but that'll keep our overnight lows relatively high. Looking into Saturday, we have a return of high pressure, which will keep our skies pretty clear and allow us to have a really, really pleasant weekend, whatever you may want to do. If you, again, want to go for a walk, hang out with your friends, you can do whatever you want. Looking into the full 7-day, as we look into next week, we'll see mostly sunny skies pretty much throughout, as that high pressure will stick around, allowing for that sun to really get its energy to us and not really have any scattering take place and have its energy broken up. So 51 degrees on Monday, 46 on Tuesday, and 49 on Wednesday.
Yeah, thanks, Steve. And that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thanks for watching. For Steve Nedlick and Gavin Carrick, I'm Jack Green.
And I'm Madeline Harden. Stay tuned for the PBS NewsHour coming up next. And remember, you can find the latest news anytime at WOUB.org or follow us on social media. Have a great night.